Hi there, this is the weekly forecast for April 7th through the 13th of 2019. Starting out on Sunday the 7th, there's a really beautiful Taurus moon sextiling Venus and Neptune in Pisces. And this is really a romantic, dreamy, idealizing energy, definitely the possibility to romanticize or to enjoy what's going on Sunday in a really sensual way. So it's good for connecting with others or your own creativity, or for just connecting within yourself. Neptune can really allow us to find pleasure in like introspection and meditating and things like that. And Neptune, Venus, Moon together in Pisces and Taurus, it's just super sensual, super relaxing energy, still grounded but dreamy at the same time. It's not the best for starting anything new that needs like a linear, realistic mind, just because we could be enjoying ourselves and how we're feeling so much that we're not thinking from necessarily the most practical place. But it's a really cute energy for anything fun or imaginative or do anything with others. There definitely is an air of just total harmony going on Sunday. On Monday the 8th, the moon will move into Gemini and sextile Chiron. So our emotions have the opportunity to be more easily expressed through words. Chiron contacts really open up the energy antenna into how vulnerable or powerlessness we're feeling, and that's not always a bad thing. Especially sextile moon in Gemini, there might be more openness to any kind of verbal therapy like talk therapy, or just being more open-minded and talkative about our wounds and insecurities in general. It's really a good time to connect with others and bond. On Tuesday the 9th, the Gemini moon will then square Venus and Neptune in Pisces. So we might be confused or unable to determine exactly what our values are or where we stand in terms of priorities. We could feel also deceived or led on by things that we had previously idealized, like any pretty people or shiny things. We could now be kind of let down by that, because Neptune squares typically indicate a clash between our ideals and what we know is necessarily going on, and there's a chance to either continue to avoid the deceit and pretend it's not happening, but have that cognitive dissonance slowly eating away, or to really face where we're lying to ourselves, either about lying to ourselves or others lying to us. But with that Venus-Neptune conjunction, this is actually a really beautiful conjunction on its own without that Gemini moon square kind of making us hesitant about it. There's easily more enchantment about the world. There is a tendency to romanticize experiences, so this could be a really positive thing. But with that Gemini moon, just be careful about lying to yourself about whether or not experiences really deserve to be romanticized. It's a good day for anything that's really dreamy or creative. It's not really the best day for getting something important like a contract or something linear done. Escapist tendencies could also seem glamorous with it in the sign of Pisces. I mean, Venus is exalted here, so there's so much glamour and romanticism going on, but make sure that you aren't romanticizing things that are not actually glamorous and that they are harmful or not worth their idealism. Wednesday the 10th, that Gemini moon will then move to square Mercury in Pisces and oppose Jupiter in Sagittarius. So this T-square kind of represents a tension between logically analyzing our emotions and idealizing what could be. There is an awareness of where we are and our climate and what's applicable to us, versus these big dreams and these promises that we really want to make and these ideas that we really want to throw out there. And there's the possibility of being overwhelmed by overwhelming possibilities, basically. And we're kind of like mentally stunted by too much being offered to us and indecisive about what to do next. So there's this lack of focus because of the opposition from Jupiter and the square to Mercury. And Gemini moon really wants focus and really wants clarity and ideas. So this could be particularly disruptive or represent a situation in your life where you're having to make change or navigate decisions, and there's just so many options that you don't even know where to start, and you don't even know what the promising outcome of any of the options are. Jupiter also goes retrograde on Wednesday the 10th, and so developments in the house that Jupiter is transiting. So look to the house that Sagittarius rules for you in your whole sign chart. And there's probably been a lot of expansion in that area over the past 6 months or so. And now we can look at reanalyzing and retracing the steps that we've taken so that we can better understand what lessons can be learned from what we're getting. And since Jupiter expands and brings blessings, and there's been a lot of developments in that area of your life, you can now analyze it more. Like, what role is it having in your life that these things are coming in? What needs to change? How is this expansion truly benefiting you? And what can be more efficient and pinpointed as Jupiter moves forward. What opportunities do you want to harness and what really aren't serving you? On Thursday the 11th, the Mercury-Jupiter square goes exact. So with Jupiter in the superior position overcoming Mercury, this is bonifying Mercury. This is generally a good thing. You can feel really inspired to go after higher goals, and we can be inspired to speak grandly and optimistically and really exuberantly about things. There might be a tendency to over-idealize or to overly aggrandize ideas, but as long as you aren't promising anything that you can't keep your end on, this is a better transit than not. Friday the 12th, the moon will move into Cancer and trine Neptune and Venus, while opposing Saturn and Pluto. So we might feel emotionally enchanted while also feeling scared or trapped. There might be something that is really positive and also something really limiting. When there's really complex aspects like this, it can usually indicate not necessarily a canceling out, although it sometimes can. Usually there's multiple scenarios going on at the same time that these subplots of the overall act are referring to. So we might be confused by our sense of comfort and then our confusion and hopelessness in another. We may also acknowledge the efforts that are being made by others to show us love, but we still feel that there's some sort of like conditionality. There's definitely, with Venus, Neptune, and then Saturn, this premise of understanding that people are trying to get through to us, but feeling though there's some kind of like conditionality or weirdness, like sketchiness. There's a coldness around the affection that we're getting from a certain party. Look to the Pisces house. Maybe it's people in that area of your life that you feel good around, but there's this like gut feeling that something regarding the Capricorn house is limiting that expression. It's bringing up this Pluto South Node conjunction into the focus because it's right opposite the moon, the emotional tides. And it brings up asking what emotional shutting down needs to stop on your part to prevent this emotional calcification and allow for transformation into new coping mechanisms. Maybe you're being shown affection and it's you that's shutting down and you that's not letting that in and you that's causing that weirdness. So this is an opportunity to really have those triggers come up and stop the cycle here. So much energy in these next few months really is highlighting triggers coming up very strongly. Therefore, you can let them go because it's kind of like a detox of them coming to the surface, and it's painful, but it's a total chance to let go. Saturday the 13th, the moon will enter Leo and square Uranus just after midnight. So it's a pretty energetic night. I would say expect it to be sleepless. So it'll be really early in the morning. You may be waking up with some crazy dreams. There might be an unsettling sense of needing to change as well with that Uranus, while not wanting to give up pride or emotional attachment to some sort of identity relating to where you already are. It might be some restlessness at night because you know that there's steps that you need to take to change, but your identity is kind of proud of where you're at right now. And the moon will sextile Mars that afternoon after, waking up and that square fades. And so there's the opportunity to harness dedication or grounded focus to put towards a certain task. Maybe the early morning starts out with a pretty anxious note of knowing you need to change, and then later in the day you get more of a handle on it and there's an opportunity to actually act upon change that feels comfortable and good for you. So this week actually involves a lot of opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of really dreamy Venusian Neptunian energy that can feel really enchanting or really imaginative, and there's also a lot of aspects regarding that Pluto, Saturn, and Capricorn asking you to let go maybe of the fantasies that are not aligning you with reality, and therefore manifesting things that can actually show up and benefit you in your life. So I would say with this week, it's teaching us to stop buying into the lie, no matter how good it feels, and replace our stories with things that actually make sense. So I hope this was helpful. I do private consultations at the link below. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you soon.